at my grandma's funeral, I was like, okay, this is what community looks like, because she has been showing up for the same people for 100 years, bitch. Okay. But like literally, it's just like, dang, okay, this is what building a community actually looks like. Because when people were saying things to me, it wasn't like some like surface level, like, sorry you missed your grandma. It was like, your grandma always showed up. These like this is the food she made for me. These are the times she showed up for me. Like, she was there when my father died and like she was so supportive and like the things people were saying to me really like changed my mind on like, oh, okay, this is what community was. And people always said that she never forgot. She remembered everyone's birthday and called them up. And because she had a little date book. And she literally every single day would wake up, look at her date book, see whose birthday it was, and give them a motherfucking call. So she called every single person she knew on their birthday. And she like genuinely just cared about people. I think people think like to build community, you need these like ginormous actions, And it's like, no, it's just like making sure that people are all right on a regular basis.
Anything that's kind of like worth in building community sometimes puts you at an inconvenience. Like community can show up for you, but like it's not always convenient. You know what I mean? Like you have to go out of your way to do something that does not benefit you for others. And sometimes it's like you're not always going to be met. And I think like kind of going back to this idea of like kind of notice wherever you water where it's blossoming, because I feel like sometimes I put energy in the wrong communities and like it's dead. That's like it
Preach.
looks like the fucking drought, even though I'm out there fucking more water.
Yeah.
And I think that a way to recognize that, at least for like myself, is that sometimes I've been wanting to be parts of like friend groups, and that's the time where I'm also a very like solution oriented person, and sometimes I like to do that with others. Like if you tell me an interest and I know somebody, I'll call them up right there and then. Let me see if I can like get you some help with that, because ultimately like that is how you build community, being like, "Oh, I know
Yep.
somebody." And so I have done that, and I have had good experiences with that with people who want to meet my energy, but I've also had experiences where I'm like, "Oh, you are interested in the job that I have? Girl, let me hook you up with, like let me refer you or whatever." And like that energy is just never met back, even in basic friendship. When I've lingered in those spaces too long where there is nothing blooming there, I start to like revert back to like a very almost like self-conscious people pleasy version of myself, where I just become a little bit anxious of that friendship. And I think it's because clearly I am like trying to give something energy and something does not want to reciprocate that. And I think I get the little insecurity bug of like, what? Like I think like I
Yeah.
revert to like a very childhood self where I like those were some insecurities that I had. And I think I've just learned to like this instance in this person's life, like they cannot value my energy. And I'm okay with now like walking away, but like at least for me, that's like a really big tell that like this is not where I need to put my energy. This is not where I need to water.
It requires like vulnerability on both sides to grow. I think it's very tough when you're like a little bit vulnerable by either like putting yourself out there to add someone to your community and then they just don't reciprocate. You're like, okay, well, what the fuck? But you should have closed yourself off. Like, you have to be open to growth.
And it's not just like by doing things for other people. I think like for me, it was like I am trying to invite you to part of my community. Is like, do you guys want to
Hmm.
have a girls' night? Like, do you want to do this together? And it's just like met with a lot of resistance. I never necessarily thought that was about me, because I'm like, maybe they're just like not want to be vulnerable or make new friends. But you can take that energy with other people who will be like, I needed this.
Yes. It's just really it's like one of those things where it's like don't close yourself off because like someone will meet your energy. So just like keep on going out into the world and like finding it because you'll eventually find your people. Like, my favorite quote was like your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, if your vibe is chaotic, you will attract chaotic people.
Yeah.
And I'm actually like really excited about the next phase of my life because I am excited to I can tell a difference when someone is my vibe. Is my vibe. No, but I just mean like, are we talking about books? Are we talking about like movies? Are we talking about how we're gonna make $1 million?
Versus where we're gonna go drink this weekend. Yeah.